Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on a board that I'd painted a few years ago and had left it in my garage because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it, so I've decided today to add some resin. So as I've already painted the background, I'm actually going to go and use that as a base for this piece. So the colours I'm using today is a jade green, a dark stormy blue and a pure white. So I'm starting out by placing the two main colours down on the board, and then I'm going to use my fingers to move it around the board until I get the shape that I'm looking for. And then once I've applied the two colours, I'm then going to go back in and apply the white. So while this is playing in the background, I want to just give you the quick update on what my plans are with the channel moving forward. Now, I've been in a little bit of limbo for the last couple of years in that I wasn't sure what to post or what I should be doing, and I was feeling a little bit confused about what I needed to be doing. And just recently I started getting a little bit more clarity in what I need to be doing moving forward. Now for me, I'm at my happiest when I'm creating. One of the problems I had was I wasn't sure what I should be sharing on the channel and what I shouldn't. And because I'm predominantly known for resin, but that's not all I do. I do a lot of painting, I do upcycling projects, there's all sorts of different things. So what I've decided to do moving forward is to share all of the creative things that I do, because I think that maybe you would find them helpful yourself. So for instance, upcycling a vase, doing some home decor projects and whatnot. So that's my plan moving forward. So I hope that this fits in with what you would like to see on the channel. I'd love to hear your comments on what you would like to see. Now, bearing in mind that it's not all going to be resin moving forward, because that's not all I do, and this is what's been holding me back in the past, is that I was thinking because you've subscribed or others have subscribed to the channel that that's all they want to see. But I think if you're anything like me and you like to create, then it's not all just about resin. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll start sharing the projects and things I'm working on, and as we move forward you can let me know whether it's a yes or a no to the projects that I am going to be sharing. So getting back to the piece in hand, as you can see I'm using my hands to blend these two colours together. Now I don't want to make it into a muddy mess, so I'm just going over ever so gently with my fingers and just blending them ever so slightly so that they do run into each other a little bit and they're not hardened blocks, if that makes sense. And I actually find it quite satisfying to work in this manner using my fingers. I actually really enjoy doing that. Now, it is a little bit messy, but I quite like that idea of being a little bit messy and getting, you know, your hands dirty type of thing, even if it is with gloves on. I find it to be quite therapeutic, and one of the reasons why I wanted to continue with the YouTube channel is I think that other people also find it therapeutic, and so I'd like to share some of the things that I do in the hope that you too will find it, one, interesting, and two, something that you would like to tackle yourself. So now that I've blended the colours together as much as I would like, I'm now going to add strips of white. Now I'm going to start off with small amounts of white, and then as I blow the white I will then add more when I feel that it needs more. So if you start off with small amounts, it's easier to add more than it is to take it away. So just using the stick, I'm just drizzling it across the surface. Now this little area that I'm throwing some white round has actually got some real crystals which I'd glued down initially on the table and like I say, it's been sat in my garage for a couple of years and I didn't know what to do with it, so I thought, well, I'll embrace the fact that the crystals are there and then run some of the white around it so that it sort of highlights that area. So I've got my heat gun on a high setting, and what I want to do is, one, warm up the resin, and then two, start moving the resin. So once the resin starts moving, it starts breaking up and you start getting a little bit of lacing. Now I do get quite a few comments from people who say that they struggle to get lacing when they are attempting this. Now there could be a number of factors of why you would struggle with this. One, it could be the resin itself. It might not be fluid enough or too liquidy. There's so many different variables on this. It could be the white that you're using, that it doesn't allow for it to break up a little bit. And then it comes down to heat also, is how much heat you're applying to the piece. So I'm got this on a high heat setting, and I'm blowing it until it starts moving now, and then once it starts moving, then I'll lift the heat off. So I'm being mindful of the fact that I am applying a lot of heat, that I don't want to burn the resin. If I was to burn the resin, it's not all lost, because I can come back later and put a clear top coat on. But if I can avoid doing that, then that's even better, because I prefer to have it as is and not actually put more layers of resin on the top. So as you can see, I'm now going over and adding a little bit more white over the top to areas that I feel that it needs more, and just making it a little bit thicker so that when we blow it, it disperses a bit further and you get like that sort of wave oceany look. Now we'll leave a list in the description box below of the products that I'm using. So this white is from U-Resin, and it's quite a nice white, and it does break up nicely, but I have used others as well. I've used the white from Lorez Expressions, and again this works really well. Now the blue is from Colour Obsession. I really like this because when the white hits it, you get different shades of the blues and the greens, and I really like the depth of colour you get, so it makes it look like there's multiple layers of resin on this, when really in actual fact I've not let any of it dry beforehand. I am just blowing it as is and allowing it to mix together slightly. So I'm just going to speed up the video a little bit here, just so that you can see the whole process without cutting anything out. And as you can see, I'm just going to go over and just keep adding more white and blowing it to get that wave look. So this table is going to be available for sale later on this week, so I'll be taking it to my market stall in Swan Settlers at the weekend. Now this is in Western Australia, so if you're in Western Australia and you'd like to see this table in person, then please come down. I would imagine it won't take too long for it to sell. So if you're ever in Western Australia, I'm at Swan Settlers Market every weekend, so come down and say hello. So again, I'm just adding a touch more white and just blowing those round and trying to get a bit of depth. Now I'm being mindful at this point that I've been working on this for probably about 15 minutes so far, so I'm being mindful of the curing time, and I don't want to work on it for too long because I don't want to run the risk of burning it and creating divots, because I still want to have that smooth glossy look. Now obviously if I do take it a bit too far, then obviously I can pour a clear coat on, but like I mentioned earlier, it's not something that I really like to do. I like to just pour the one layer of resin, and the reason for that is I try to keep the cost down for the customer. I try to achieve the looks that I'm after without it being too expensive, because at the end of the day I don't want to be holding on to this for a long time. I want to be able to give it will sell it to somebody who can then enjoy it in their home, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. So I try to keep the cost down by not applying too many layers of resin and not working on it for too long as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding some clear resin over the top of the crystals. This is just to make sure that these are bedded in properly and that they are not going to come away when someone wipes down the table and whatnot. So I've just poured some clear over that. Now it doesn't take away anything from the crystals itself. They still have that nice clear look about them, but just by putting a little bit of resin in on the top, it just helps bed it in. And again, I'm just doing some final touches now here and there, some little lines, and I'm just blowing them ever so slightly just to break it up just a touch so that it doesn't look like a hard line on the top. So I hope you enjoyed this very quick resin video. I'd love to hear your comments below about, again, whether you want to see more of this type of thing, when you want to see some more projects and things that I'm planning on working on. So please leave a comment below, and also if you like this, please give it a thumbs up and perhaps subscribe to my channel. So until next time, bye for now.